Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Semangat pagi sahabat pionir semuanya, bertemu kembali di channel Ublek TV Info. Kali ini teman-teman kita kembali membahas tentang Pi Network. Nah, ada pemberitahuan terbaru ya teman-teman, yaitu perihal hackathon yang langsung disampaikan oleh Coreteam di kanal YouTube-nya. Nah, jadi teman-teman, kita pernah mendengar kalau Nicholas Kokalis ya, mereka Coreteam menjelaskan bahwa pernah berkata, saya yakin dengan potensi teknis, keuangan, dan komunitas dari aset digital yang terkunci. Tetapi keterbatasan mereka saat ini membuat saya frustasi. Saya akan berusaha untuk membawa kekuatan blockchain ke lebih banyak dengan meningkatkan pengalaman saat ini. Nah, itu kata-kata yang pernah diucapkan oleh Nicholas teman-teman. Berarti project Pi Network bukan project bohong, bukan project abal-abal, tetapi memang selalu dipikirkan bagaimana kedepannya akan lebih kuat dan baik untuk orang banyak, baik itu pioner dan para penggunanya di masa yang akan datang. Nah, lebih banyak orang dan meningkatkan pengalaman saat ini, menciptakan nilai bagi semua orang, dan membiarkan lebih banyak orang memahami blockchain. Bahwa saya sendiri, kata Nicholas, melakukan ini dengan mengadopsi filosofi desain yang berpusat pada pengguna, mengubah proses pengembangan blockchain baru terbalik, dan membawa kemajuan teknis dari aset digital yang terketak di tangan semua orang. Nah, jadi harap ingat, kilat adalah untuk orang biasa yang menyumbang 99% dari ekonomi dunia. Artinya, orang biasa adalah orang yang mengklik petir, yang percaya pada Pi Network, yang akan menyumbang ekonomi perkembangan dunia. Jadi tetap mengklik petir. Itulah menurut Nicholas. Nah, hari ini ada video yang sudah disampaikan, yaitu tentang perkembangan dari hackathon sendiri teman-teman, yaitu workshop hackathon yang kedepannya ini dalam waktu dekat akan diumumkan. Nah, ini ada beberapa menit video yang kita unggah, dan lebih panjang itu ada di kanal YouTube Pi Network sendiri. Nah, jadi teman-teman, selamat menyaksikan dan mudah-mudahan video ini bermanfaat untuk kemajuan Pi Network di masa yang akan datang. Semangat pagi dan terus berkarya. Jangan lupa klik petir dan salam sukses semuanya.
Participants involved already, and we can't wait to see the incredible and innovative Pi apps that you're developing. In this video, we'll explain some of the basics of Web3 and give a quick introduction to Pi Network for those who are new to the Pi community. Then we'll describe some of the unique features and benefits of developing on Pi Network, as well as the qualities of a successful Pi Hackathon app. This will be followed by product insights and tips from one of our very own product managers. Enjoy!
Let me start with some very basics. So Web3. Web3 is the newest iteration of the internet, really. Everyone may remember that Web 1 was the first version of the web where it was essentially read-only, and you could only download it and see information. And Web 2 was a more of a read-write version of the internet. So Web 2 was the iteration that allowed people to produce content. It was services like YouTube or social media, where the internet was not anymore a tool that only some developers or some companies or some people who have the means and ability to create servers and produce information to do that, and everyone else is just reading, but it was everyone could participate. Now Web3 is adding an additional element to this. Using the Web3 and essentially blockchain and cryptocurrencies, people are able to have true digital online citizenship and digital ownership. And what we mean by ownership is that now people can own certain things online that are residing on blockchain, such as cryptocurrencies or non-fungible tokens or other types of ownerships, and they can interact with them. So this can create certain very new functionalities and unblocks a completely different world of applications that now can reside online. And while I was talking, I already mentioned that blockchain is a core technology enabler of this of Web3, which is a shared, decentralized, immutable record. It's a chain of blocks that essentially keeps track of this stuff, and the stuff, as I mentioned, it could be cryptocurrency or other types of digital assets. Now, Pi Network is one of the world's largest blockchain-enabled communities with over 35 million engaged members. And it is a platform as well, and the Pi platform enables a user-friendly, intuitive, and robust and accessible ecosystem for all sorts of these kinds of activities to happen between users, developers, and merchants. Now, the user-based Pioneers is already crypto-enabled, meaning that they have what's called wallets, which is essentially a private key and a public key. But they don't just have wallets, so the ability to interact with the cryptographic algorithms, but they also have wallets with cryptocurrency inside Pi, and they have been mining it for over 4 years. So they are essentially a group of people who are ready to interact with Web3. So essentially what you can do as developers of this hackathon is to build meaningful utilities that can deliver this kind of impact on Web3. So building on Pi is, first of all, simple, because you don't need to know new technologies and different things or write very complicated blockchain-based protocols, smart contracts, and algorithms, while at the same time you can create Web3 applications. And we spent a tremendous amount of time to try to make the platform accessible to everyday developers and try to help them deliver reliable and secure and safe applications by using simple tools like essentially if you know how to build a web application and if you know how to integrate into your web application a JavaScript library and able to do API calls, well, that's pretty much a Pi app. So with this platform, we enable you to focus on building your apps and delivering value to your users. And the first point here on the slide is there is all these engaged users already, all the pioneers who are part of the Pi network globally, who are ready and eager to use these functionalities and utilities that you may end up building. Now, one other thing that we recently created is a specific open source license for Pi. So we call it PiOS, Pi Open Source, and it specifically grants unrestricted use of the code, similar to how MIT license works, but it does that within the Pi ecosystem. So this allows Pi community developers to essentially create source code and applications that are custom for the Pi ecosystem. And that can be all the way from full-fledged apps to libraries and foster all sorts of collaboration between Pi community developers. Now, speaking of judges and apps, let's look at what are some features of apps that we will potentially assess as the more successful apps. So the features that we're looking for are actually intuitive and straightforward. So we're looking for apps that are simple. So the more simple your app is, and by simple I don't mean simplistic, the more you will be able to produce that one simple functionality in a meaningful and thoughtful way, and well thought through and rounded way. So by simple here, I mean that if your app is designed to build one thing and it does that well, then that's better than if you create an app that has 15 different features. So the Pi network is overall a collection of different utilities. For example, a chat utility already exists for Pi. So your app, maybe you want to build a better chat utility. Okay, that's perfectly fine. You can build a better chat utility, and that would be a simple goal for your app. But if you don't choose to build a better chat utility that's better than the one we have, then if in your app you're doing something else and you also add the chat functionality, then you end up not building a simple app. You're going to have an app with two very different features. It's going to be probably building something fun. Let's say it's a video app, or it's like some other functionality. Plus, it has the aspiration to be a chat app. So that is going to reduce your ability to build the one other functionality that you wanted to have thoroughly and successfully, and with as good user experience as possible. So that's what I mean by simplicity here. Pick one core functionality, do it really well, get it in front of users.